Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Austin, and we are the Reading Raptors from Shantiniketan Indian School. So today, I'm going to bring to you a very interesting story for you to know, understand, and learn. And that story is Tenali Raman and the Golden Man. Before we move on to read the story, let us understand the pronunciation of some important keywords from the story. Now you can repeat after me. Distraught, conquered, concerned, generous, desire, eventually, reprobated, confident, furious, fulfill. Once upon a time, the good king Krishnadevaraya's mother fell ill, and the poor king was distraught. He called every doctor in the land to court, but everyone agreed she was too ill to recover. Nothing can be done, they concurred. Very well, she said, I wish to eat a mango before I die. The servants set off, and they travelled everywhere, searching every farm and field in the land. At long last, one of the servants found a ripe mango, and hurried the hand to the palace as fast as he could. The journey was long, and before he had arrived, the king's mother died. His advisers became very concerned and gathered to discuss what they could do to help their king. The royal master thought for a while, and at long last had an idea. He hurried to the king's bedside. Sir, your mother was always generous to the poor of our nation. I believe she would be happy if you fulfilled her desire to help others in need. Perhaps you could give away mangoes to the poor to feed them. The king's eyes lit up. Yes, I can help the poor just as my mother did. Do you think this will ease her soul? I am certain of it, said the royal master. But I must do more, the king urged. The next day he called his advisers to his chambers. We shall give away not only mangoes, we shall give away gold. Day after day the advisers passed out mangoes and gold, and eventually the chief of the king's finances began to worry. We'll run out of gold if this does not stop, he told the advisers. We must warn the king. The advisers told the king that he must stop. You will have no money, they cautioned. But the king reprobated to stop. I must fulfill my mother's every desire, he said. So the lines continued, the handouts continued, and the advisers became more and more worried. Then one morning the king's trusted adviser, Tenali Raman, had an idea as he watched the long lines outside the palace. He told the servants and soldiers to tell each Brahmin that he must speak to Tenali Raman before he walked inside for his mango and gold. Everyone knew that Tenali Raman was one of the king's closest confidant, so naturally they assumed it was the king's order to speak to him. When the first Brahmin came to see him, Tenali Raman smiled and said, "We have changed things a little today. The king wishes to give extra gold to he who has a burn upon his hand." When the Brahmin heard this, he begged Tenali Raman to burn him. Later, when this Brahmin approached Raya, the king as usual handed him one mango and a gold coin. But the Brahmin said, "Sir, I have a burn. Please give me the extra gold." "What on earth are you talking about?" the king asked. And so the Brahmin told him the story. The king was furious, and he called Tenali Raman to his chambers. "How dare you harm our people? What were you thinking?" Tenali Raman bowed. "My dear king, please understand, when my mother was dying, she asked me to please burn her head, for she believed that this would keep her alive. I reprobate. But you see, if I had fulfilled her wish, she might live still. But I am poor and cannot invite the Brahmins to come to me. And since all these men have come to you, I thought in this way I might fulfill my poor dead mother's wish." When the king heard the story, he understood the lesson Tenali Raman was trying to teach him. "You want me to think more carefully about what I am doing, isn't that so?" the king asked. Tenali Raman bowed his head and said, "If you say so, sir." That was an interesting story. So now let's build on our vocabulary on those important words. Distraught, concurred, concerned, generous, desire, eventually, reprobated, confident, furious, fulfill. Now, after knowing how to pronounce these words, let us investigate these words further by finding the meanings for all of them. The first word, distraught, means very worried and upset. The second word, concurred, to be of the same opinion or agree. We have more words coming up for you: concerned, generous, desire, eventually, reprobated, confident, furious, fulfill. Now, with these remaining words, you have to find the meanings of all of them as your home task. After finding the meanings of those words, let us now further dissect these important words and find the synonyms for them. The first one, distraught. I have two synonyms. One is anxious and the other troubled. The second word, concurred. The two synonyms are agree and approve. There are more words for you: generous, desire, reprobated. Now, with these remaining three words, you have to find two synonyms each as your home assignment. After knowing the synonyms of the words, let us find the opposites of the same words, which is the antonyms. Distraught, the opposites are peaceful, untroubled. The second word, concurred, the opposites are disagree, disapprove. The other words are generous, desire, reprobated. Now, with these remaining three words, you would have to find two antonyms each for your home assignment. After knowing what the words mean, what are the similar words or synonyms, and their antonyms, we are more in a comfortable position to create meaningful sentences with those words. Now, I have done a couple of examples for you to understand how to create them. Let's take a look. The first word, distraught. Weeks after the accident, she remained distraught. The second word, concurred. The two judges concurred on the ruling. Now I have more words, concerned, generous, desire, eventually, reprobated, confident, furious, fulfill. Now, again with these remaining words, you have to create meaningful sentences for your home assignment. Now we come to the most important part of the story, and that is the comprehending part, to check and see if we can comprehend or understand the story by answering a few questions. Now let's look at the first question here. Why did the king decide to distribute mangoes and gold? Explain. Now note the way in which the answer has been written down. It is written down in past tense, and I have started the answer from the question itself. The king decided to give mangoes and gold because he was not able to fulfill his mother's wish of eating a mango before her death. Also, his mother was very generous to the poor, so after she died, he decided to fulfill her desire of helping the poor by giving a mango and gold. Now, after understanding the way in which we have to answer the question from the previous example, let us take a look at a few more questions that we need to answer. Question number 2. The king reprobated to stop. Justify. Now, question number 3. Why do you think the king was furious? Elaborate. And question 4. What do you think Tenali Raman wanted to teach the king? Explain. Now, these remaining three questions are for your home assignment for you to answer them in a proper manner. Thank you, children, and I hope you enjoyed this story. We'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.